Hey church, I'm so glad that I could be with you today. Today I really just wanted to talk about one specific verse from the first chapter of the book of Romans. Paul writes this letter to the believers in Rome, and he does his typical Paul greeting in the first part of this letter, and then he gets starting to get into some of the meat of it, and he says, "So I am eager to preach the gospel to you also who are in Rome." And so he's proclaiming his readiness to preach the gospel to those who are in Rome, because he's so ready for people who do not know Jesus to know Jesus. And that's a great thing that I wish we could all have that and get it as like some kind of contagious disease, that we could all just become that way. We're so eager for those who do not know Christ to come to know him, that we would be that way. But the verse after that is the one we're concerned with, and it's a very, very popular one. And it's verse 16. It says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek." So my question to you today is, are you ashamed? What are you ashamed of? We're all ashamed of certain things. I'm ashamed of things in my life, obviously things that I've done wrong and things that I don't want people to know about. But when I am out in public or when I'm speaking with a person, am I ashamed of the gospel? Sometimes is the answer to that question for myself. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm talking to a person and I know that the Holy Spirit's kind of tugging at my heart and going, you should say something here. Now, not even necessarily that it's you should tell this person about Jesus and how he can save them from their sins, but sometimes God presents us with opportunities to share with people what God does and what God is capable of and how he can help in their particular situation, or that we'll be praying for them. Just mentioning things that show people that we're a Christian is part of our witness as well, so that when somebody tells you that their day is going horrible or that the world's coming to an end, you can tell them that you have a God who's mighty in heaven, that you're willing to go to him and intercede on their behalf, that you'll pray for them because you don't want them to have to go through that alone. And there are just so many other things that we can say. And then when we talk to fellow believers, sometimes we can even be ashamed of the gospel with fellow believers, where we just get caught up in trying to fix the problems and deal with the situations in our own strength and in our own words. And we don't even say that God is in control. We don't even give him that credit in those situations. When in reality, what we should do is we should say, God is in control in your situation, and he's in control of my situation. Let's just trust him to do what he wants to do, and we know that he's going to get the glory from it no matter what. So don't be ashamed of trying to bring God into the situation when it's really easy just to go, oh man, that's awful, and I hate that for you, and that's real bad. But the weather sure has been rough these last few days too, hasn't it? It's just been rainy, and then when it's not raining, it's hot. You know, we get into those kind of conversations, and we just take the conversation wherever it goes in our mind, rather than taking it where God would have us to take that conversation. So I encourage you this week to look for those opportunities. Listen to the Lord. Listen to the Holy Spirit as he directs you and tries to give you opportunities to speak things into people's lives that show him that you are a believer in him. So anyways, I'm so glad that you joined us. Hope to see you guys on Sunday. Hope everything's going great. See you guys then.